The notification arrived while we were having dinner. My daughter Sofia, 13 years old, stared at her phone as tears formed in her eyes. My son Matteo, only 10, looked confused, reading over her shoulder. "Mom," Sofia whispered, her voice trembling. "Look at what cousin Diego just posted." I took the phone and felt my stomach drop. There was a photo of our old family sedan parked in front of my sister's house last week. The caption read, "Look at these poor kids living for free in our mansion. My aunt's family cannot even afford their own place. Meanwhile, we are here supporting charity cases." The post had 47 reactions and dozens of cruel comments. Most were laughing emojis mocking our clothes, our car, our poverty. My sister Valeria lived in a stunning colonial mansion in the exclusive Residencia Castillo. It featured 5 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, a swimming pool, and landscaped gardens. Her son Diego, 17 years old, had always been spoiled. But this was a new level of cruelty. Why would he post something like that? "We do not live there," Matteo said, his lip trembling. "We only visited for a few days." "I know, sweetheart," I replied softly, putting down my fork. My hands stayed steady on the table. Inside my mind, I was already calculating what to do next. Sofia wiped her tears away quickly. "Everyone at school will see this. His friends are in my class too." I smiled gently at both of them. "Finish your dinner, my loves. I need to make an important phone call." I walked calmly to my private study and closed the door behind me. I opened my laptop and logged into my online banking account. The screen displayed all the automatic payments set for the 15th of every month. For 7 long years I had watched these numbers leave my account like clockwork. Mortgage payment to the bank, 80,000 pesos. Monthly property tax contribution, 6,000 pesos. Homeowners insurance, 2,500 pesos. Pool maintenance service, 18,800 pesos. Gardening and landscaping, 2,200 pesos. I picked up my phone and called the bank's 24-hour support line. "This is Elena Vargas, the account holder. I need to cancel several automatic payments immediately." The representative verified my identity and pulled up my account. "Which payments would you like to cancel today?" "All payments linked to the property in the Residencia Castillo. Cancel them with immediate effect." She checked the details. "That includes the mortgage, property tax fund, and home insurance. The cancellations will start from the next billing cycle. Tomorrow's scheduled payment will still go through." "That is acceptable," I answered. "Cancel everything after that one." "May I ask the reason for these cancellations?" "If you are experiencing financial hardship, we have assistance programs available." "This is not about hardship," I said firmly. "The arrangement has simply come to an end." After hanging up, I called the pool maintenance company and the gardeners. I canceled both service contracts on the spot as well. Then I sat in the quiet of my study and waited. 18 minutes later my phone rang. Valeria's name lit up the screen. "Elena, what on earth have you done?" Her voice was high-pitched and full of panic. "The bank just called me. They said you cancelled the mortgage payment." "Yes, that is exactly what I did," I replied calmly. "You cannot do that. This is my house." "Is it really your house, Valeria? Tell me, what payments do you actually make for it?" Silence filled the line for several seconds. Then she snapped, "That is none of your business. Fix this right now or I swear I will explain everything in person." I interrupted. "Come to my house. Bring Diego with you. It is time we discussed who is truly living for free in whose mansion." She hung up without another word. 35 minutes later her Mercedes roared into my driveway. It stopped so abruptly that it left dark tire marks on the pavement. Valeria stormed through my front door without knocking, fury in every step. Diego trailed behind her, clearly annoyed at being forced to come. My children were safely upstairs doing homework in their rooms. I sat at the dining table with a thick folder of documents in front of me. "Explain yourself right now," Valeria demanded, standing over the table. I gestured to the empty chairs across from me. "Please, have a seat." "I do not want to sit down. I want to know why you are destroying my life." "Destroying?" I repeated quietly. I opened the folder and slid the first paper toward her. "This is the original mortgage statement from 7 years ago when you purchased the house. Do you remember signing these papers?" Her face flushed deep red. "Of course I remember. Alejandro and I bought it together before everything fell apart. Before he abandoned you and left you financially ruined. I corrected. Before he drained every account and ran off with his secretary. Before you called me in tears because the bank was about to take the house. Diego's eyes grew wide. He had clearly never heard this part of the story. I placed the next document on the table. This is the loan restructuring agreement you signed. The bank only accepted it because I agreed to take responsibility for the payments. You remember how desperate you were, do you not? Valeria's jaw clenched tightly. We made an arrangement, she muttered. Yes, I said. You, me, and the bank. I took over the 80,000 peso monthly mortgage payments so you and Diego could stay in the house. You had just been abandoned. You had a young son who needed stability. You needed time to rebuild your life. I spread out 7 years of bank statements across the polished table. Each page was highlighted with the monthly transfers. 80,000 pesos every single month for 84 months. That comes to 6,720,000 pesos. Plus property taxes, insurance, pool service, and gardening. Would you like to hear the grand total? Valeria stared at the papers, her face now pale as ash. 7,770,000 pesos, I stated. That is the exact amount I have paid over 7 years to keep a roof over your head. To give Diego a stable home. And to help you recover after Alejandro destroyed your finances. Diego turned to his mother, his voice small. Mom, is any of this true? It was a family loan. Valeria whispered, her voice weak. Elena was only helping us temporarily. I pulled out yet another document. Interesting. Because I have no signed paper stating it was ever a loan. There is no promissory note. No repayment schedule. No interest rate agreed upon. Nothing at all. Just me quietly paying every bill month after month while you told the entire world that the mansion was yours alone. You told me it was fine. Valeria shot back. You said you wanted to help your family. I did want to help, I answered. And I continued helping when you bought your brand new Mercedes last year. I kept helping when Diego received a brand new BMW on his 16th birthday. I kept helping when you completely remodeled the kitchen with granite and custom cabinetry. Diego's cheeks burned red with shame. He could not even look at me. I never once asked where the money came from, I continued. I never told a single soul that I was the one supporting you. I protected your dignity. I let Diego believe his mother was a successful, independent woman. I let you keep your perfect image in your fancy neighborhood. So tell me, Valeria, why did your son do this to my children? Her voice cracked. Why are you trying to destroy everything now? I unlocked my phone and held up Diego's post for both of them to see. Because your son publicly humiliated my children. He called them poor. He said they were living for free off your generosity. He painted my family as charity cases for all his friends to laugh at. Diego's face went white when he saw his own words on the screen. I did not know. I thought. You thought what exactly? I asked, my voice low and steady. That you were rich and we were poor. That living in your mother's house made you better than my son and daughter. I am sorry, Diego stammered, already reaching for his phone. I will delete it right now. I will apologize to everyone. You will delete it, I said. And you will post a public apology. But that is not the reason I stopped the payments. I stopped them because 7 years is long enough. Your mother has had more than enough time to stand on her own 2 feet. Valeria's hands began to shake uncontrollably. Elena, please. I cannot pay the mortgage alone. My salary does not even cover the other bills. If you stop paying, the bank will take the house. Then sell the house, I said calmly. Downsize to something you can actually afford. Get a second job if you must. Do what countless single mothers do every single day when they can no longer maintain a lifestyle they cannot pay for. You cannot do this to us, Valeria cried. We are family. Yes, we are family, I repeated. That is precisely why it hurts so deeply to watch my own nephew mock my children online. To hear him call them poor while he lives in a house I have paid for every month. To see him drive a car I essentially purchased while he laughs at our old sedan. I slid the final document across the table. This is the official deed to the house. When the bank restructured the loan 7 years ago, they required me to be added as a legal co-owner. I own 50% of the property because of everything I have contributed. Valeria looked as if all the blood had drained from her face. You signed that? You never told me. You were desperate to keep the house, I said. You signed whatever the bank put in front of you without reading the fine print. That document means I am not only paying the mortgage. I am also a legal co-owner of the mansion. Diego looked sick to his stomach. Here is what is going to happen, I said, my voice still perfectly calm. Diego, you are going to delete that post immediately and publish a sincere public apology. You will explain that you were wrong and ashamed of your actions. Then you will personally apologize to Sofia and Mateo. Diego nodded rapidly, his fingers already moving across his screen. After that, you and I, Valeria, will decide the future of the house. Either you take over the full mortgage payments yourself, or we sell the property and split the proceeds according to our ownership shares. Or you buy out my 50% at current market value. I cannot afford any of those choices, Valeria whispered, tears welling in her eyes. Then you will have to find a way, I replied. Because I will no longer fund a lifestyle that taught my nephew he could humiliate my children without consequence. Valeria's eyes overflowed with tears. Elena, I am begging you. Just give me a little more time to figure something out. You have already had 7 years, I answered. How much more time do you think you need? Diego's thumbs moved at lightning speed. Within seconds the original post vanished from his profile. A new post appeared in its place. I need to apologize for the terrible post I made earlier today. I was completely wrong and disrespectful. I am deeply ashamed of what I wrote and I regret hurting my aunt and cousins. I had no right to judge anyone without knowing the full truth. I am truly sorry. It is done, Diego said in a small voice. Good, I nodded. Now send private apology messages to Sofia and Mateo. Make them sincere. He bent over his phone again without argument. I turned back to Valeria. You have until the end of this month to make a decision. Either begin paying the entire mortgage yourself or we list the house for sale. Those are the only 2 options left. And if I cannot do either, she asked, her voice rough with emotion. Then the bank will foreclose, I said. Neither of you will walk away with anything. But at least I will finally stop sending 80,000 pesos every month just so my children can be mocked by their own cousin. Valeria rose slowly from her chair, her legs visibly shaking. I never knew you could be this cold. I am not cold, I said. I am a mother who is protecting her children. Something you might understand better if you had taught your son basic respect instead of letting him believe he was above everyone else. Silent tears now streamed down Diego's face as he typed his messages. For a brief moment I felt a pang of sympathy for him. He was only 17. Spoiled and unaware of the truth, but still just a boy who had believed his mother's version of reality. Diego, I said more gently, you are not a bad person. But you have been living in a fantasy. That house did not make you special. It made you lucky to have an aunt who was willing to sacrifice so much for your comfort. Learn from this moment. He nodded, still staring at his phone screen. Valeria walked to the front door and paused with her hand on the handle. You are going to regret this, Elena. Family does not treat family this way. You are absolutely right, I replied. Family does not treat family this way. Family also does not allow its children to publicly bully their cousins on social media. Family does not lie about owning a house it cannot afford. And family certainly does not accept 7 years of silent generosity without ever showing real gratitude. I thanked you, Valeria said weakly. Once, 7 years ago. After that you acted like everything was yours alone. As if I did not exist. As if the 7,770,000 pesos I gave you meant nothing. She walked out without looking back. Diego followed right behind her, his eyes still fixed on his phone as he sent the apology messages. When the door closed behind them, I sat alone at the long dining table surrounded by the scattered documents. My hands remained steady. My breathing stayed calm and even. But deep inside, I could feel the heavy weight of 7 years slowly lifting from my shoulders. Sofia appeared quietly in the doorway. Mom, is everything all right? Come here, sweetheart, I said, opening my arms wide. She crossed the room and sat down beside me. A moment later Mateo joined us, his small face full of worry. Diego sent us messages, Sofia said softly. He apologized. He said he was really sorry and that he was wrong about everything. I am glad to hear that, I replied. Mom, Mateo asked carefully, is it true? Do you really pay for Aunt Valeria's house? I had never planned to tell them. I had never wanted him to see me as naive or to feel that anyone had taken advantage of their mother. But after tonight, they deserved to know the truth. Yes.